Hi all, I'm Purni working as an assistant professor in the Department of Biotechnology and I am handling the subject called modeling of cell culture. And in today's topic, we are going to deal about how the cell culture can be modeled in order to predict the kinetics of your cell formation, that is a product in the form of your biomass, as well as how the substrate has been utilized for your product formation. And what are the various types of the models we do have in the case of your bioprocess, as well as we are going to deal about the one model that is said to be the compartmental model for your uh, purpose in a detailed manner. So why we go for your modeling of your cell culture? So we need to, so whenever the process is being carried out for a product formation, that has been utilized to produce a product by utilization of the substrate. So how the substrate has been activated and what are the various parameters which have been implied, which plays a major role in the production of a formation of a product formation, as well as what are the various parameters that has been controlled. So this can be modeled in such a way for all the parameters that has been controlled by the various electronic devices. So it is mean for your improving the understanding of the process performance in a detailed manner, and what are the different tools that can be developed in order to estimate how this signal is used to obtain your maximum optimal condition, like how we can obtain the or how we can maintain the particular parameters like a pH or a temperature for a particular process, that can be modeled in such a way so that parameters that can be controlled in the case of using your controller, that is said to be the electronic device. So always when we talk about the modeling of your anything, that requires the mathematical approaches. So in your bioprocess, we do have a monod equation for a product formation as well as the substrate utilization we have seen, right? So that is said to be the one of the mathematical model which is used to estimate your product formation kinetics as well as how the substrate has been utilized. So this is also said to be based on your monod model, how the product substrate formation and utilization has been form that can be modeled using the model called a mathematical model. So we'll get into the topic. So what is the mathematical model in the sense where we are controlling or how we can be controlled? So when we cannot directly go to the modeling of a mathematical one using the base equation of the monod equation. So prior to that, how the substrate is being utilized for the product formation, that has to be taken care. So here in this case, when you talk about your fermentation control, what are the various model and how the reaction has to be carried out and how the environment that has to be, the environment in the sense what are the various parameters. So using the particular model beyond your environmental control is said to be your difficult task to be monitored, since we are producing the particular product in a huge quantity. So maintaining the parameters is in a maintaining the parameters instead of a slow process or a tedious process. So here it has to be studied priorly in such a way how this modern approaches has been used to control the various fermentation as well as your environmental factors. So when I talk about the model is said to be the mathematical relationship between the various variables. So what are the variables in the form of a consumables or in the form of a non-consumables, like your parameters, designing everything that can be controlled. So those relationships can be given by using your mathematical modeling. So here it is said to be for when we talk about a mathematical model, how we are going to monitor or model this thing. So here we are going to use a base equation as a monod equation for your how much amount of the product has been formed by how the substrate has been utilized, we can be seeing. So here we are using the base equation as the monod equation for the growth and expression of the substrate consumption rate, as it is a function of a biomass. As we have been aware, what is the monod equation, that is said to be the nu is equal to nu max S divided by Ks plus S. So here this said to be giving a relationship of your substrate as well as your biomass concentration. So whenever we talk about a model, the model is said to be the combination of a theoretical relationship which provides a structure of the model as well as experimental observations provides a numerical value of a different coefficients. So what are the various yield coefficient how we have, and what are the various coefficient like your carbon coefficient, how this has been impacted on a substrate for a product formation. Those things can be predicted using your yield coefficient. So when we talk about your modeling, here when we talk about a model, there are different types of models we do have. The one, how this model can be studied, before getting into the different types of a model, how we can model the particular system will be seen. So first, we have to define what is the aim of the particular model we are going to study in the case of a bioprocess. So we have to start that modeling in a simple way, in such a way like it is such to be carried out in a laboratory purposes, in a lab scale. It should not be carried directly the modeling in the case of your large scale fermenter. So it has to be done in the case of a simple way in the small scale of a fermenter in the lab scale. So the next one, what are the various complexities that has to be built up and how it can be determined, that can be done. So here in this case, how the complexity, so what are the various complexity, what are the various variables that we can be used to study, and those things that has to be studied in a clear-cut manner by using your various parameters in the case of the lab scale. Then it has to, once it has been identified, this model can be taken into the large scale, or in a large scale like a pilot scaling up of a thing can be done. So then that is said to be the use of models to learn. Then the models are then to be applied in such a way in the large scale for studying your how much amount of the substrate has been predicted, so that by utilizing the substrate utilization that can be studied. So these are the various steps that has been involved in the case of your modeling of your any reactor. So before next we'll go into the topic, what are the various types of the model. So the first one is a structured, the next one is an unstructured model. Then we have a model called a segregated. Then it is said to be the non-segregated model. So these are the various models which will be having some similarities and some dissimilarities among these models. So here when we talk about a structured model, when we talk about this one, this model which is helps to divide the cell mass into the different number of a component. So how much number of the component that is said to be studied as a particular component alone. It cannot be considered as a single. So it is said to be having this as a heterogeneous condition. So the cell is going to be taken for kinetic modeling study as in a heterogeneous condition. So which means that how this components has been changes as a result of the growth. So since we are since we are segregating the particular component, so this is said to be the very complex study. So we will not be going for this study of a model using this structure model, since it is said to be a very complex. Why we are not taking this for a general study of a kinetic part, in the sense because the structure model is said to be, we are not going to make all the components into the single one in the form of homogeneous. We are considering in the case of a structure model, we are considering this as a heterogeneous condition. So we'll be taking a different parts of your component that has been divided as a cell mass by the molecule or a particular element, how it is acting on a particular substrate and how the substrate has been converted into the product. So here this makes a tedious one. So we will not be taking this model for a further study. So since it is of a complexity in a manner. The next one is an unstructured model. So when we talk about an unstructured model, this model is, we are going to assume in this model the balanced growth will be occurring, so that the cell components do not change with respect to that of the time. So here in this case, when we talk about this one, it is said to be a less complex one. So here in the case of unstructured model, we'll be taking most of the study using unstructured model same. We are not going to predict how each component is acting on it. So here we are going to take all the components, all the nutrients as a single component in the case of a homogeneous condition. We are going to study the kinetics part. So we call this model as a unstructured model, and this model is said to be a complex, but when compared to the structure, it is said to be the less complex. and it is more commonly used since we are not segregating how the carbon is acting on it, how the hydrogen source, how the nitrogen source, or how the trace elements are acting as a substrate for a product formation. So it is valid for your batch growth during the exponential growth phase. So during the exponential growth phase, how much amount of the cell is being, nutrient has been taken up the cell for the growth as well as your increase in the cell number. So, and it is also used for your continuous culture during your steady state operation. So the next one we'll see how the comparison of the modeling empirical approaches can be done. So here when you talk about the empirical model, how the amount of a product is being produced and what are the various relationships that exist between those substrate and the product, as well as how the product is acting on a particular thing for a product. Substrate has been acting on a particular nutrient so that you're by action of the cell it is getting into the product. So here there are a little that is necessary in which we are going to do some assumption. So like this is acting on a particular thing so that you are getting the product. So the empirical approach, which means that it is used to measure the productivity of all your nutrients that makes the product by utilizing the substrate, which means that here it's like how we can know that is said to be how the yield coefficient of your eggs is formed based on a substrate, or how the biomass as a form has been formed based on your nitrogen source, or how much amount of the biomass can be yield based on the consumption of the trace element. So that gives you the quantitative measurement of your product, how much it has been formed. So that is why we call the approach as the empirical approach. So when we talk about the modelical approach, we are going to design a model for a particular product to be formed in a larger quantity by transferring it from a scaling down to the scaling up. So here we are going to design an experiment in such a way to produce the or to determine the model parameters. So here we are going to use a model for a rational design for your optimization production of a particular product. So here when you talk about your empirical approach, when we compare with an empirical approach, it requires many experiments to be carried out to field or to give what is the maximal product formation based on your substrate utilization. But in the case of a modeling, it requires only a few number of an experiment to be done randomly for n, which can be done. The number of experiments can be done varies from 1 number to the 5 number, so that a fewer experiment can be required to understand what is happening, so that how much amount of the product can be done. So here the disadvantage is the time is required more in the case for developing the model. So that's why we will be using the modeling and in the case of your estimating the product formation to determine the kinetic parameters. So what are the various stages in the modeling process? When you talk about a modeling process, we have to make the model, what is the aim of the particular model. So we have to define what is the problem and what we are going to find out. That is the proper definition of the particular problem, so that we are modeling this system for deriving the solution. Then we have to formulate that in a mathematical expression. So we have to use a various formation. Since we are using n number of a components, we have to take the summation or one term can be of a negligible one. So like that, we have to take into a consideration. So the next one is the numerical method of a solution with a digital simulation. Then we have to do the validity to identify the model parameters and their accuracy in a numerical method. So then we have to very careful to be very care must to be taken, so that the modeling of that model should not become a more complex. So we should not bring a more complexity, even though it is of a less complex in a nature by designing a fewer experiment, but still we have to take a much care for designing the model, so that the optimization of our optimization amount of the product should not be restricted, so that it can be produced in such a way. So how this designing, how we are optimizing, how it can be controlled, we will see. So we are going to compare then the experimental data and what are the computer data, whatever we have been stored in the case of your large scale industry in the control system. And then we have to compare this by using the various modeling system. So what is a model we have been designed and how the models can be done, either in the case of a mathematical model or a physical model to determine the kinetic parameters. So the next one, how this can be done on the case of a dynamic modeling. So the dynamic modeling, in the case it's said to be the steady state model. When we talk about a structural model or a steady state model, this is said to be a very complex one. So if we are going to make a simple assumptions in the case of a dynamic model for making the higher downstream to become a higher than the upstream, which makes your reversal flow, so that it makes a model for the possibility for a dynamic modeling. So here, how the process can be controlled and what are the devices that has been used to control the various processes. So here, what are the various sensors we have been used? In the case of a pH, we are using the pH sensor. For temperature, we are using the temperature probe. And for your pressure, we are using the spigometer. So what are the various sensors that we have been used, that we have to be designed in such a way in which it gives you the optimized result without any disturbance of a product formation kinetics. So here, when you talk about a dynamic model, how the process can be done, how it can be controlled, the parameters, how the operator has to be trained, and how it can be developed into the particular product. So that can be done with the help of the systematical flow as your actuator. Then it is taken into the process. Then it can be monitored with the help of your sensor. So the next one, we'll move on to the modeling of the reaction kinetics. So when you talk about the modeling of the reaction kinetics, this is said to be your kinetic model. When we talk about the modeling of a cell culture, it is said to be of a 4 types. The one is the structure, as we have said. The structure we are going to, the more complexity in nature, because we are not going to make it as a single component. We are going to make it as a different components in a heterogeneous condition. When we talk about an unstructured, we are going to make all the components as a single part. So that is why all the subcomponents are pooled into the single biomass components that can be represented as your total biomass concentration. So the function for the any specific growth rate, the nu is said to be the function of your substrate, your product, as well as your biomass. So this unstructured model is normally used for all your studies, since it is of a less complex and fewer number of an experiment is needed for the modeling of the particular system. And this system is used by taking the base equation of the Monod equation, that is a Monod model, for studying the product formation kinetics by utilization of the substrate. Okay, so here when we talk about this Monod model, the Monod equation is said to be the nu is equal to nu max S divided by Ks plus S, as we are been aware of. So when your substrate is the limiting factor or your Monod constant is said to be the limiting factor, what are the various parameters that has to be determined for finding out what is the specific growth rate of a particular product formation that can be studied in the case of either in a plant cell culture or in the case of an animal cell culture, if you are utilizing for the product formation. So always the unstructured kinetic model is said to be the studied for all your research methodology, so that it can be having a fewer number of experiment, as well as it has a less complexity and making the components into a single pool component, so that it will be easy for understanding what the reaction kinetics being occurred. So here, this will give you, this picture will depict you the clear picture. So when the first one is the structure, the cell component, we are going to treat it as a multiple component system, in which your carbon source, we are going to take it as an individual one, your hydrogen source is an individual one, your nitrogen, your iron, magnesium, everything that has to be taken as a multi-component system. And when we talk about your unstructured model, in this case of an unstructured model, we are going to treat the cell component as a single component. So which means that whatever the nutrients we do have in the case of your substrate, that has to be pulled into the single component. Then it is said to be the segregated model. The segregated model is said to be your heterogeneous condition. So when you talk about your segregated, we are going to make it a segregate or in a different forms of a nutrients we are going to make. And non-segregated is said to be the same. The structured, the unstructured and the non-segregated model are the same, in which we are going to take it as a single component in the form of a homogeneous condition. We are not going to segregate. So we are going to pool it in the single component. So when we talk about a structure model, this segregated model and structure model are the same, because we are not going to separate we are not going to make as a single component. We are going to use as a single component for n number of in the system. So here, when we talk about a structure a non-segregated model, this is said to be a simple and applicable, because we are having an n number of an assumption that has been done, so that it can be simple and applicable to the many situations. But when I talk about a structured and a segregated model, since we are taking this of a multi-component and the cells are treated in a heterogeneous condition, this makes your kinetics or model is to be a more realistic, but the complex is said to be a more curious when compared to your unstructured non-segregated model. So this is also the same, which represents the non-structured model said to be the single component are said to be represented, whereas the structure in which we are going to make it as a multi-component as a structured one. So the next part, when we talk about a segregated, the segregated is said to be a different components we are going to take, that we are makes a complexity. So we are bringing back to the non-structured, unsegregated model that makes your problem solution for your kinetic study. That gives you the balanced growth condition. So when we talk about a non-structured and an unsegregated model, that gives you the average cell description. So how much amount of the biomass that consists of a various parameters like your NADH, precursors, your ATP, your biomass, your metabolites, what are the secondary metabolites, your primary metabolites, as well as your what are the various things that can be predicted. So always your unstructured model which will be uses a single variable to describe your biomass. So how much amount of the biomass has been produced based on the various substrate utilization, like your carbon or a hydrogen or a nitrogen or a iron, like your trace elements that can be predicted. So uses a single variable to describe the biomass. So when we talk about a segregated model, which is considered to be an individual cell component that we are going to treat in a heterogeneous condition and for different populations. So it has to be more formulated as a population balanced model. So then how this kinetics of a model structure can be studied? So when we are defining the stoichiometry, we must be aware how much amount or mole of your substrate is being taken initially for reactions to be carried out in the reactor with the help of your cells. So how much amount of your product is being formed, that we have to study. So we must be clear in a stoichiometric of the reactions to be structured, important in the case of your any kinetic model structure. So the substrates are taken up by the cells and they are converted into the metabolic products M as well as your biomass constituent. So these conversions are being carried out in a J reaction, in the sense in this upper part of your reaction. So once the reaction is being taken place in where your intracellular or extracellular product that we are going to derive by the action of your nutrients, by action of your microorganisms on the particular nutrients, so that it will be turned into the product, n number of a product that can be given as a P1, P2 to the P of a N. So how the rate of a product has been formed by utilizing the substrate by the action of your substrate on a particular microorganisms and among the particular volume of a reactor. So here this describes your alpha represents your substrate stoichiometry, your beta represents your the metabolic product stoichiometry, and the V represents your the biomass constituent. So here, when we are introducing the stoichiometric coefficient for all the substrate and the product and the biomass constituent, we have to make all the coefficient to be 0, since whatever the major components have been involved, that has plays a major role for a product formation. So the other parameters will be of a negligible. So we need to make that coefficient to be the 0, like a dummy variable we have to do, so that since it will be having an impact in a lesser amount, not in a fewer, not in a larger amount or a quantity. So we need to make the coefficient to be 0. So since only the few number of a participant of a nutrient that will be involved in any given reaction. So this can be structured. So this can be modeled in a mathematical way in which the sigma, the summation of I to the 1 to the n, that is what are the n number of components that we use and how this components that has been involved in the formation of your product. So here always we have been keep it in the mind that always the specific growth rate is there to be the function of your substrate product as well as your biomass. So the summation of your substrate, the summation of your product, and the summation of your biomass by acting on a particular component or a substrate, that is to be the 0. If one of your substrate has all been known, so since before starting of the experiment we have been known. So one, if we have been known, then it is easy to find what are the other by using the stoichiometric equation. So for the substrate of your Si, the metabolic product of the Pi, and the biomass of your Xi, the stoichiometry of your Jth reaction. So where the reaction is being carried out, how the product is being formed, that can be determined using this formula. So that is summation of your I to the n alpha ji Si plus I, summation of I to the 1 to the m, beta ji Pi plus summation of I equal to 1 to the q, y ji Xi is equal to 0. So this is convenient. So summation can be replaced by using the equation of As plus Bp plus gamma X is equal to 0 in the matrix form of a notation. So this represents your substrate coefficient, and this represents your biomass coefficient, and this gamma represents your biomass, and B represents your product coefficient respectively, for studying the kinetics, how much amount of the product has been formed by utilizing the substrate. So then we go into the structure kinetic model in a clear designated way. So here in this case, the cell population significantly changes, influences the kinetics of a cell structure model can be used to study. So here in this case of a structure, we are going to make in a different components as a heterogeneous condition. So when we talk about this one, the differentiation term of your d by dt 1 by gamma c dou c into Br at Cj, which is equivalent to your substrate based on the biomass concentration as well as your product formation that can be done. So here in this case, we are going to do a number of your assumptions for determining by keeping the variable terms as a constant and variable term as a variable one. So here this equation can be written as your d of Cj as a differential form, which is equivalent to R of Fj minus Cj of 1 by x dx by dt plus Cj phi x by x into Vr. The Vr represents the volume of the reactor, how where the reaction is being carried out to determine the kinetic state. And this 1 by x dx by dt can be replaced as a nu. So your equation, this equation can be written as dCj by dt is equal to Rfj minus nu Cj. So here this is said to be the negligible band, since we are taking this as your 0, since no things has been fed up in the case of a batch reactor. So for any batch reactor configuration, we are not going to give anything, any input of a nutrient in the middle. So if this term will be of a 0. So this term we can replace as a nu. So dCj by dt is equal to Rfj minus Cj into nu. So the next one is a compartmental model. We'll see in the detail. This is said to be the simplest structural model. So here in this case of your compartmental model, we are going to make your compartmental of a various components in the different number of a compartment, so that what are the various molecules that has been synthesized, like the RNA as a precursor or a DNA and a protein that can be studied. So this can also be said to be, this is said to be the simplest structure model, and it also said to be the assimilatory component or a synthetic component. So how the molecule is being transported, how it has been influenced, that can be studied with the help of your molecular pollution, the chemical reaction, the diffusion, the turnover number, the synthesis of a protein, the increase in the cell number, batch process completion, how the mutation has been occurred, so that how the substrate has been utilized for the product formation that can be studied. So why we do study the modeling? This study is to study n number of research is being carried out for studying the modeling in the case of a plant or an animal structure, so that it has been used how much amount of your product has been formed in a particular time, the rate of a time that can be determined, and what are various parameters, those relationship can be predicted. So here in this case, this type of a study that has to be assumed in the case of a quasi steady state for your identification of a cellular kinetics. So here, how this kinetics of your compartmental model can be studied. So here we'll be having a two types of a compartmental, so that it can be developed and postulated by taking your nutrients and by taking your product for a substrate, by how the substrate has been utilized for your product formation in the form of a biomass that can be studied. So the first component, we have to take it in a one simple compartment, that is said to be the nutrient that has been with the yield coefficient Y, the rate of your synthetic component formation in the total density and a nutrient mass concentration that has been given. The next component, whatever the things we do have, that has to be proportional to your dou 1 into dou 2. The next one, if it is of a component 2, it is necessary for your next studying of your thing. So that can be determined with the help of a dou 2 into dou 1. So the biomass is said to be the combination of this two component in the case of the two compartments. So here it has been given. For the substrate, it is of dS by dt is equal to minus 1 by S K1 Sx, dx by dt is equal to K1 Sx. So that the dou of a P1, that is a component in the compartment 1, that can be written as K1S into P1 plus P2 minus K2 P dou 1 into dou 2 minus mu of a dou 1. So then for your next one, it is said to be your, for the second component, it is said to be the K2 into dou 1 dou 2 minus mu into dou 2. So also noting that we have the nu is equivalent to K1S. So the dx by dt can be written as your mu x. So that is 1 by x into dx by dt is equivalent to mu in which the final equation. And when we talk about a dou 1 and a dou 2, which is equal to the constant density, so the final equation can be written as a dou of f2 by dt is equivalent to minus of k1 as f2 plus k2 dou c f2 into 1 minus of f2, and which the f2 can be written as, since it is of a constant term, so it can be written as a ratio of a dou 2 by the dou c. So here when we are integrating that equation, it will be finally yielding the biomass to be estimated using the equation as x is equal to x naught into e to the power of kt divided by 1 minus beta x naught into 1 minus of e power of a kt. So why we are going for this model, in the sense, when we have been studied about a dynamic model or a compartmental model, we have another model called a metabolic model. This is used for predicting how much amount of the organism has been undergone a metabolism activity, like a catabolism or anabolism, for a product formation, that makes your tedious process to be studied in such a way. So we will be avoiding this type of a metabolic model. So we'll be using only the compartmental model for studying about the organism that we have to be known prior for starting of your this thing. So these are the various formula that can be used to predict your substrate, how it has been utilized for the product formation, whether the product is of an extracellular or intracellular, and how the product can be predicted by the combination of this two equation. And finally, the